Hello again, and thank you for joining us on yet another edition of ONIF TV Highlights, where we get to serve you hot, all of the major stories hugging the headlines from across the world every week. My name is Damilola Raphael, and as is our custom, we will be starting from the home front, Nigeria, right here. Some very good news, we must say, at this time. Your Easter egg hunt has hit the jackpot as President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday signed the 30,000 naira national minimum wage bill into law, ending the anxiety caused by the delay. The senior special assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters Senate, Senator Ita Enan, was elated on Thursday as he broke the news to the State House correspondents soon after Buhari gave his nod to the bill. The presidential liaison officer stated that the payment of the 30,000 naira to workers would begin immediately. This is some good news, as I said. Your Easter egg hunt has yielded some really good results. And one of the major officers for the NLC actually said they were waiting for May 1st. And some way, somehow, Mr. President just has a lot of surprises up his sleeves. Great. Some good news. Well, maybe there would be some other good news for me first. Let's wait until then and enjoy Easter while it lasts. And moving on, the presidency has celebrated the conviction of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onnoghen, for false assets declaration by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. It describes the judgment of the tribunal as a victory for the anti-corruption war of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. The presidency's position was contained in a statement by the senior special assistant to Mr. President of Media and Publicity, talking about Mr. Gabashiru. It noted that the anti-corruption war was all-encompassing and is not designed to persecute anyone for political or other reasons. Well, Mr. President is winning, somebody is losing, somebody is happy, somebody is sad, and of course we had Senator Shehu Sani coming out one time to say that the fight against corruption and every other fight seems like you're using insecticide on some people and you're using the deodorant on some other group of people. I'm just quoting him as I remember the name. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying what is in the news. You understand? Okay, that one right there. The PDP has said that they are going to be responding to that formally, and we'll see the back and forth, on this matter. The PDP said yes, they also want the president, the government, to fight against corruption, but they will come and talk. We will wait. Maybe they also on break for Easter before they come up with the results. However it is, remember, earlier, the Code of Conduct Tribunal convicted Justice Walter Onnoghen of charges of breach of the Code of Conduct for public officers and ordered his removal from office as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Was it that the resignation letter he saying that is no more effective? I don't know. Power. Anyway, he also has been said that I'm going to quote right here. He was found guilty on the rest of the 5 counts in which the defendant was alleged to have falsely declared his assets on December 14, 2016 by omitting to declare his domiciliary dollar, euro, and pound sterling accounts, as well as his 2 naira accounts, all domiciled in Standard Chartered Bank Nigeria Limited, and he has been ordered to forfeit all of these monies. Okay. He has come to the appellate, so we'll see how far with this particular story. And let's still talk about the presidency right here with regards to security. At this time, President Muhammadu Buhari has said on Thursday that the recent upsurge in banditry, kidnappings, and other violent crimes in the country shook him. But he has assured the nation that the killers would be defeated immediately. And of course, ultimately, he stated that security agencies had been given the necessary support to end the killings, which the president admitted was a trying phase that would pass away. He raised these concerns in an Easter message he released in Abuja. Talking about defeating ultimately, we keep hearing all of these adjectives. Technical defeat. Technical. Now we are hearing ultimate. We hope this one will not be like the other promises we had for 4 years, so it must not continue like this. Rome definitely was not built in a day, and, Nigeria, we are well over 50 years. maybe one day in the sight of God is eventually like 1,000 years. Moving on, we'll see this particular one. Daniel Ojo still talking security. The officer who shot dead one Adele Ifeanyi and wounded another Emmanuel Akumafua in the Ajegunle area of Lagos State has been dismissed from service and declared wanted. Lagos Commissioner of Police Zubairu Mazo disclosed this while addressing journalists at the command headquarters in Ikeja on Thursday. Ojo, alongside 5 other policemen, had a neighboring 13 accosted their victims. And during an argument, Ojo opened fire on Ifeanyi, who died on the spot. The 5 policemen were, however, subjected to orderly room trial while Ojo escaped, and now Ojo has been dismissed. I mean, this back and forth with the police. Olamide Bado actually posted on Twitter saying, don't argue with them. Once they just accost you and they want to arrest you, follow them. And there was a lot of response saying, even when you follow them, in fact, it gets worse. There was even a guy who gave his own experience saying he was actually accosted right in front of his house and they arrested him for loitering in front of his house. He said, well, he eventually followed them and was told to write a statement along with 6 other guys saying that they are a kidnap syndicate and also a robbery syndicate, that they always steal cars from people. He now said, and Olamide is coming out to say we should follow them. Are you sure that's serious? I'm still talking about these arguments with police officers. Well, there was a report, a tweet actually from Yomi Shogunle saying that don't argue with them and please don't speak Queen's English, don't speak Pidgin. Does that tell so much about the recruitment process into the police force? It is Easter, and some years ago, a mother had to cry because of her son who was killed. And on Thursday, in Lagos State, Acton Cemetery to be precise, a mother had to cry again as her son was killed, and killed by policemen. If you remember, the 36-year-old football fan, Kolade Johnson, he has been buried. He was buried at the Acton Cemetery, Yaba, Lagos, on Thursday. Remember, he was shot dead by an operative of the Special Anti-Cultism Squad. Family members, friends, and sympathizers have paid tribute to the memory of the deceased and called on the police authorities to ensure justice was served. Remember, he was shot dead on March 31st when some SACS operatives stormed Oluwabodere Street in the ONIF area of Lagos State. Right, let's move over this time to the National Assembly. 164 members of the 9th House of Representatives elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress have resolved to back Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila for the position of a speaker. The members elected they will not defy the APC on the choice of the majority leader as the next speaker. Some aspirants from North Central Political Zone had, however, dismissed the endorsement, insisting on running against Gbajabiamila for the seat. At the forum of the newly elected APC members, in a statement by its chairman, Mr. Tunji Ojo, and the Director General, Mr. Junko Chamberlain, said those from the North Central agitating for the position of the speakership were not sincere. Should we say that a house that is divided against itself cannot stand? But then again, maybe we should say the majority will carry the vote. Remember, this is a game of numbers. Let's move outside of Nigeria. At this time, the roof of a church collapsed during mass near the eastern South African city of Durban, killing 13 people and injuring at least 16. The accident happened on Thursday evening in the town of Dalu. Outside of Nigeria at this time, the roof of the church collapsed during mass near the eastern South African city of Durban, killing 13 people and injuring at least 16. The accident happened on Thursday evening in the town of Blackbungo, north of Durban, after heavy rains. That's a particular sad incident right there. And, you know, there was a lot of back and forth. Some Nigerians actually calling out and saying, oh, we're sorry, accept our complaints, this, that. And some Nigerians were like, when they were killing our brothers. And some said, hey, is it the church that killed your brother? I mean, your brothers were killed on the streets. And of course, we're also shouting, we're fighting, we're crying for the government there to listen. But the thing is, however it happens, sadness just has a way of affecting everyone, and our hearts are with everyone in whatever way who has lost lives, that the Lord grants the family the fortitude to bear the loss. And still on the foreign scene, right here, this is a tough one. The Prime Minister of Mali and his entire government have resigned following an upsurge of violence in the country. On Wednesday, a motion of no confidence was submitted as MPs blamed Prime Minister Sumelu Obey Maiga for failing to handle the unrest. Last month, scores of herders were killed by a rival ethnic group. President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita said in a statement that he accepted Mr. Maiga and his minister's resignation. I mean, this is like a major hurricane and just swept the Prime Minister and everybody. And not like it swept them like that. I think they've decided to follow the tide because it was their resignation and not their ousting. Well, if it looks like there is a lot of rancor and a lot of noise against you, I think it's just better to bow out when the ovation is loudest. And well, we are leaving the stage for you. Come and enter. It is easy. We will see. Yeah. But their names have seen impact record. That's the most important thing. And moving on to talk sports at this time, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp says his side is testing Champions League semi-final against Lionel Messi and Barcelona, but have made a statement by reaching the last four for the second straight year and are equipped to deal with the very best. Liverpool beat Porto 4-1 at the Dragao Stadium on Wednesday to advance 6-1 on aggregate with their attacking trio of Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino on all targets once again, with the defense marshaled by the hugely impressive Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool, who reached the final last year, are now undefeated in their last 17 games in all competitions as they seek a Premier League Champions League double. A good one for them, must say, making some statement right there. I mean, you have the trio of Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino. Why not shouting them on Messi? This guy that just making you popular. It's good for you. We'll go talk entertainment at this time. And Burna Boy is set to release a new album titled The African Giant. The music star had a private listening session in Los Angeles, United States of America, where he played songs from his next album. And he took to his Instagram stories where he shared videos and photos from that particular event. And of course, there were a host of people who came out to support Burna Boy, talking about Jidena, and his mom and manager, Bose Ogulu. Remember, his mom used to be one of Fela Kuti's dancers. And I mean, you know, they used to say that somebody that they dance and watch, this one now, she's not joking. I mean, she's giving her son the right backing and he's doing so well. I mean, he's been recognized on YouTube, been recognized in different parts of the world, and the game just keeps getting better. Moving on to the last story, but still right there in the Kuti and the Afro-pop musician family. Seun Kuti is the latest celebrity to speak about the brutality being faced by Nigerians by men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the SARS, and he thinks the menace will continue because Nigerians think it is okay. The Grammy nominee singer made this known during an interview, and according to him, these special police officers are only doing what they have been ordered to do. Really? Do you know what they have been ordered to do? I thought the people, Mr. President, because I think he's actually turning shades at Mr. President right now, and I think the people Mr. President referred to were the kidnappers and the bandits and regular Nigerians now. And well, they have said we should not speak English, and we should speak Pidgin, and someone else said it and it to be good. Here is how we get to call the wraps at this time. This week's edition of ONIF TV Highlights, we've looked at some of the major stories that helped the headlines across the world. Thank you for taking your time to watch. Do drop your comments right there, and we'll be glad to have that interaction with you. My name is Damilola Raphael.